Hey everybody, what it do? Welcome back to another vid from your boy Joe Van over here. We are going to be doing another movie tier list based on an actor, and today's actor in question is Emma Stone. Alright, let's get stoned.
Tier list!
So, we have the tier list here, and again, as you can probably see, it's not every movie that she has been in. She's been in a lot more stuff than our previous entry, but I haven't seen them all, so what are you gonna do, right? Now, starting things off with Superbad. My goodness, that came out in 2007, and I don't know if it's editing or what, but I 100% was totally fallen for Emma Stone as like a 13-year-old child, you know? She wasn't that much older either. I mean, you know, what, was she 18, playing an 18-year-old at that time? I don't know. But either way, Superbad sort of made me fall in love with Emma Stone and just kind of enjoy like the movies she's been in since. So Superbad has this special place in my heart, and I feel like it does for other people too. Not specifically for that reason, obviously. It's got the comedy element. It has like the companionship, what it means to have a best friend, and the fights and stuff that ensue. And also that insecurity pursuit of like trying to validate your own sexuality by like losing your virginity by the end of high school, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, listen, this movie came around as I was entering high school, so it was a very pivotal point for me. So it holds this very special kind of nostalgic place in my heart, which might elevate it above the rest, but I also just think this is an iconic film. And for that reason, Superbad gets S tier. Oh yeah. Now moving on from that to another iconic classic movie. So holy heck, talk about like an incredible career so far. Zombieland. This movie, I think it came out before The Social Network, so the Jesse Einsberg character, you know, him as an actor, he didn't like explode just yet, but he was well on his way. And Woody Harrelson, classic, and the last Mimsy person. I feel bad, but that actress, you know, that actor. Yeah, this is just a star-studded cast, and another classic for me. However, is it S tier? I think it was expertly done, but I'm gonna put this one in A for A, very good. Next, moving on from that is Easy A, which for whatever reason, I don't like, every so often I'll watch commentaries for movies where you just watch the entire movie, but with like the people who made the movie talking in the background. You know, it's a feature that used to exist on movies when you could buy them as DVDs. I know, crazy, it's a generational gap thing now, the fact that that used to exist and now it's just streaming. But I remember the director saying throughout this movie that he found the jokes about Facebook already too old by the time this movie came out. And this movie only came out like 4 or 5 years after Facebook became like a public website for everyone. So it's just weird to like think back to those kind of things. But as far as the quality of the movie goes, Easy A is an easy A. Straight up, it works like that. It's nice and easy. Oh yeah. Next, you have Crazy Stupid Love, which is one of those movies that tries to have an ensemble cast doing a million different things where all of their lives intersect. There's a million of these movies, and producers are always trying to pump out these kind of movies. A lot of the times it's like about major events. I talked about this in the Ethan Hawke one, where there's like the Valentine's Day, New Year's Eve, New York I Love You, and now Crazy Stupid Love. However, Crazy Stupid Love is the one that actually works. So much so, I'm gonna actually put it in S tier. This is literally the film that works, having the ensemble cast. For a lot of people who maybe missed The Notebook, this was their introduction to Ryan Gosling as like a heartthrob, I guess. I had already seen The Notebook, of course, so I knew he was a heartthrob, but yeah, and then Emma Stone is just doing her thing as usual, which is just being like a really good actor. But now moving on to more granular IPs with The Amazing Spider-Man. She goes blonde for this one. The Amazing Spider-Man, to me, is the weakest of the IPs. However, I can understand that people who maybe were young, like as they're going through adolescence and this film came out, it holds a special place in their heart, but for me I was already an adult and I don't really care. So The Amazing Spider-Man for me is whatever. I'm gonna put it in C tier actually. Ooh, gotta hurt. Next, The movie 43, holy shnikes. This is one of those movies where it's like, how did this get made kind of a thing. You feel bad for everyone involved because it turns out it was kind of like Fire Festival, where it was just a big old Ponzi scheme. And not really, but it was kind of like a scam. The way that this was put together was the producers used the names of the initial actors they were able to get on and did a whole bunch of lying to keep getting higher and higher end actors onto this film, to the point where they got an ensemble cast of AAA actors, but all of them are doing the most ridiculous shit in this nonsense non-movie. Movie 43 is an easy D tier, however, it is one of those films that's still entertaining, so I'd recommend people to watch it, but like know that you're going into a very bad movie. Okay, moving on from that one, we have Gangster Squad, which I feel like was like overly edited or something. It's one of those ones that like the tone doesn't match the time period, which is supposed to be like, now I forget the name of the main guy. It's not Al Capone, I don't think, but it was like LA in the 1950s, I think. Very well made, well shot, whatever, but it didn't exactly do it for me. I thought it was fine. I'm gonna put Gangster Squad in B. Yeah. Next we have The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Easy D tier. It's kind of like the movie 43, where it just feels like a joke, like they tricked people into being in this movie. Very poorly written, very rushed feeling, and it set up a third movie that looked like it was going to be even more scatterbrained, and it never came to be. So, you know, there you go. Good riddance, I guess. But then, of course, you know, obviously no offense to Emma Stone or Andrew Garfield or anyone else involved in those films. It's just the whole package sucked. That's all. So next we have an incredible film, Birdman, or The Virtue of Ignorance or something like that. I'm gonna put up here an S tier, of course. Emma Stone plays one of the major roles, the daughter to Michael Keaton, and you know, she goes through her own personal issues while her dad goes through his issues, and you know, it's just a big old hot mess in the best possible way. And the whole film is expertly made. The acting's terrific, the story's terrific, the music's terrific. Everything about this film. This is like the easiest recommend, even though it deals with dark subject matter, like and stuff like that. I'll blurb that out, I think, because YouTube doesn't like certain words, but it's just one of those films that leaves you with an excited, good feeling. I don't know, it's hard, it's weird to describe it that way because of how it ends, but just is what it is. Next we have Aloha, which I'm not gonna quite put in D, I'm gonna put in C. Emma Stone plays like a Hawaiian native, like she was born in Hawaii. It was one of those films where you don't really understand what they were trying to go for. It seemed kind of lazy, so not quite scatterbrained as the D-list ones, but it felt sloppy and slow and meandering and like it didn't have much of a point. So maybe I didn't understand Aloha, maybe I'll watch it again, I don't know. But either way, it just unfortunately seemed like a miss. Next up we have La La Land, which certain people hate, other people say it's a masterpiece, the best film ever made. I don't understand why this one was divisive. It seemed pretty simple, clear cut. It's like kind of a musical, not really. It has musical points, but the whole thing, you know, it's not like Rent, where they're just always singing. I thought La La Land was great. Like, I didn't think it was a masterpiece like other people, but I'd put it up there in A tier. I feel like there's just terrific acting happening on the screen, and what else do you want from a film? You know, this is cinema, in my opinion. Next we have Battle of the Sexes, and this one is based on a true story where Emma Stone plays a tennis player who matches off against a misogynistic man played by her father in Crazy Stupid Love, Steve Carell, and I thought this movie was good. You know, it told the story, like it didn't do anything exceptional, like it didn't blow me away, its cinematography or anything, the acting is fine, and the story is good, you know. I'm gonna put this one in B, so I apologize for anyone who you know, sees this as a masterpiece. Now moving on from that, we have The Favorite, which I forget the director's name, but it's the director who did Lobster, I'm pretty sure, and The Killing of a Sacred Deer, and the upcoming Poor Things, and The Favorite is terrific. It's like very, very loosely based on the actual life of one of the queens of England. Not the latest one, but like one from however many hundreds of years ago. But, you know, very loose. It just has the characters and like major events that are all true, but then the rest of it is its own story. So the dialogue is very unique. This director is known for his extremely unique dialogue. The way people talk to each other is kind of alien. But in this one, even though the characters are wacky, I feel like it's the most grounded dialogue of his film repertoire. And Emma Stone plays the main character who's trying to win the heart of the queen. I guess I won't spoil what happens, but you know, this is like kind of a comedy drama, I'll say. The Favorite's terrific. It doesn't hold a special place in my heart, just because it kind of leaves you with this weird kind of depressed feeling, the way how everything ends. So for that reason, I'm putting The Favorite in A for terrific, but you don't make me feel good at the end. It's a classic Joeism, I guess you can call it. Now moving on from that, we have a TV show. So I don't think this is the only TV show she's been in, but this is of what I've seen, right? It's Maniac, where she co-stars with the OG guy here, Jonah Hill, where they played against each other in Superbad. So now they're kind of coming back together for this TV show. Now, of course, unfortunately, all that stuff came out about him, how he likes to, you know, use therapy speak to manipulate people. But regardless, Maniac, at the time, there was no controversy happening, and I remember watching it and very much enjoying it. I didn't think it was a perfect TV show by any means, but as far as Netflix shows go, it was very good. So I'm going to put Maniac in, it's going to be B or A. I think I'm going to put it in B, even though I enjoyed it. I think I just enjoyed it for the nostalgic factor of the two of them together. So I'd have to rewatch it, but I'm going to put it in B. Moving on from that, we have Zombieland Double Tap. It is the, I don't know if I'd say long-awaited sequel, because I don't know if anyone was expecting a sequel. I wasn't, but it's like 10 years later, they all come back together again just to show what's been going on in their life. And unfortunately, it's not as good as the original, but I still think it was fine. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to put it in B. I think it was fine. It wasn't terrible, but it was kind of just not, I don't know how else to say, just not as good as the first one. I think it like retreads a lot of stuff, and then the way it ended was not as good as the first, I guess. Yeah. Comparison game, unfortunately. Now moving on from that, we have Cruella. Cruella seemed to strike something with a lot of people where they just absolutely loved it and was like, oh my god, yas queen, to like Emma Stone playing Cruella. Of course, I don't understand that. I'm not a fashionista. I don't have like fashion brain where I don't like see certain outfits and like that doesn't do anything to me, unfortunately. Of course, like generally it does. The same thing with food, right? You can like not be a foodie, which I'm actually not, but you can still understand that some things are better than other things. But just for the sake of where I'm trying to go with this is like this movie didn't do to me what it did to other people. I thought it was fine. So I'm trying to even think, yeah, like it is at least one of the better adaptations of old Disney stuff. I'm gonna put Cruella in B. So I apologize to those who absolutely loved it. I thought it was fine. Emma Stone's acting, good as usual. Yeah, I don't think her acting had ever dipped at any point. She had certain roles like throughout this whole repertoire where she like absolutely brought the thunder. But that's more so her being able to play more with certain scripts and with directors versus her role maybe being a little tighter or like less room to play around with. So her acting throughout all of these films is never really anything in question of the quality of the film. It's more so the other stuff. But anyway, now we have the final one here, Poor Things, which actually got delayed. It was supposed to come out in September of this year, but then the actors' strike happened. It's now since ended, and it has a slated release for December 8th. I'm filming this in November, so I'm actually gonna like leave this rating just where it is right now. I'm not gonna touch the mouse, and let future me, editor me, place it where I think it's gonna be. So I'm gonna wait until this comes out, watch it, and then let me as my editor self place it somewhere. So future me, go ahead, take it over, place it somewhere, and then I'll just sort of react generally. Hey, there it is! Okay, was it good, was it bad? It's right there on screen so you guys can see. Okay, but there you guys go. So I hope you enjoyed my list Of course, if you agree, if you disagree, please let me know, but there is the Emma Stone movie tier list. All of her films are not on here because I haven't seen all of them, but these are the ones I've seen. Hope you guys enjoyed. But there you go. Okay, thanks for stopping by, and as always, until next time, ciao for now. Peace!